Have you seen what's happening in your sanctuary lately? Join us right now for another episode of Your Sanctuary, a program that highlights what makes our national marine sanctuaries so special and the people that keep them that way.
We are tightly connected with the ocean. In fact, our well-being depends on a healthy ocean. We need to limit and carefully manage our impact on the ocean, and not just for the creatures that live there, but for our own very survival. You know, our actions on land are reflected in the sea, and today's theme of marine debris really hits this home. We have several guests who will share their experiences and the exciting ways they are helping to reduce ocean pollution. We're going to chat with Laura Kasa, who many of you know from Save Our Shores, about their awareness and cleanup efforts. We're also going to talk with Robert Ketley about the City of Watsonville's efforts to reduce pollution entering from our watersheds. And we're going to spend time with our very own Deputy Superintendent Karen Grimmer, who led this last fall's fishing gear removal project for the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. It's a full show, so let's get started. Our first guest is Laura Kasa from Save Our Shores.
Hi, Paul.
Laura, welcome to Your Sanctuary.
Thank you.
You know, Save Our Shores was so instrumental in the creation of the sanctuary some 20 years ago. And so your programs that help the sanctuary remain healthy, like your Sanctuary Stewards program, are so integral to the awareness and the efforts to clean up our beaches. Can you tell us about those programs?
Sure. Thanks very much, Paul. Maybe you know that Save Our Shores organized the first official cleanup in Santa Cruz in 1981. And since then, we've been running regular beach and river cleanups, and now we're up to about 270 cleanups a year. And the way we do that is we organize about 10,000 volunteers to come out and do that. So maybe people know us from the large Coastal Cleanup Day, which happens in September, but we're out there monthly, we're out there year-round to make sure that we're not only picking up the trash, but also tracking the data of what we're picking up. And then we use that data to then influence local policy to do styrofoam bans or plastic bans and things like that.
Mm-hmm. You know, when you go to the beach, sometimes you'll see trash right next to you, and it's hard to imagine the amounts that you guys are able to pick up when you look at a whole beach segment. So how much trash can you pick up at a beach or on one of these big cleanup days? Well,
the answer is a lot.
Yeah.
So on our annual Coastal Cleanup Day last year, we were on 81 sites, and we picked up 17,000 pounds of trash.
Wow.
So we essentially covered 150 miles of beach and rivers and lakes and streams and sloughs. So that's quite a lot. And throughout the year, we collected about 36,000 pounds of trash. Now you might think, okay, I can't imagine that much on our beaches. Primarily that was at our river sites. So Salinas River, Pajaro River, the San Lorenzo River, that's where we're really collecting a lot of the heavier materials and the majority of the trash.
So about the things that you're finding, you must find some strange things, some interesting things, or a lot of the same kind of things. So tell us what we're finding on our beaches.
Right, we find almost about anything you can imagine. So we've picked up couches and bed frames, toilet bowls, car motors, but what concerns Save Our Shores more is the stuff that we're seeing all the time. So cigarette butts, plastic bags, styrofoam. We pick up this primarily. And it's those small pieces of plastic that's what's most damaging to our wildlife, because they misinterpret that for food and they can suffocate and when they ingest that. So that's what we're really picking up most of.
Well, you have a great cadre of motivated volunteers. Tell us about your volunteer program and how you keep people engaged with that. I've always thought it's fascinating and that people are so motivated to go out and pick up other people's garbage. How do you do that?
That's true. It does seem like kind of an odd way to spend your free time. As you mentioned, the Sanctuary Stewards program is really how I think it gets started. We have an 8-week intensive training program where we have scientists from all over the Monterey Bay coming and speaking to these potential volunteers and educating them about the sanctuary primarily. And I think when they go out and they're picking up the trash, they know that deep connection that they have to the ocean, so it means a lot to them, and they see their direct impact. So they're picking up trash and they're thinking, wow, I just prevented a seagull from maybe eating that cigarette butt or something like that. And when they walk away with the data, they can say, wow, I picked up 1,000 cigarette butts in an hour, or I picked up 20 pounds of trash that otherwise would have gone in the sanctuary. So I think it's that connection of, this is their home, this is why a lot of us live here, and they want to do the best thing they can to help protect it.
So how can somebody get involved if they want to get involved in a beach cleanup?
Well, we'd love people to get involved through our Stewards program, which starts this month in February, but we also run monthly cleanups in Monterey as well as Santa Cruz, and that's all listed on our website. People can just show up that day. They're Saturday mornings from 10 to noon, or call our office and talk to our volunteer coordinator.
Right, so that's the Save Our Shores website.
Yes,
okay.
So saveourshores.org.
Great. Well, thank you, Laura, so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
If you want to learn more about these programs or about the sanctuary, visit us at ampmedia.org.
Did you know? All major lakes, watersheds, and waterways on Earth eventually drain into the ocean.
Hey, it's time for Sanctuary Connections. Let's go out to reporter Steve Elzy and see what he's up to.
Thank you, Paul. I'm here on the streets in Watsonville, where, as you can see, the gutters are clean as a whistle. That's because of this sign in part, and also the innovative street sweeping program initiated by the city of Watsonville. I'm here with Rob Ketley, and he's going to explain that a little bit further.
Well, Steve, I think the best way to put this is that our street sweeping program is part of our overall solid waste collection program. The residents here know that when they place their garbage cart along with their recycle cart out on the street, the city will be by that day to pick up the garbage, pick up this recycle, and then after that, the street sweeper comes through. So that when they come back from work at the end of the day, they know their garbage and recycle have been taken care of and their street is clean. It makes it simple and straightforward for our residents, and as you can see, the results are really effective.
All right, Paul, we have moved from the streets of Watsonville down to the banks of the Pajaro River. And as you can see, there's some future marine debris behind me. We're here with Rob Ketley. And Rob, tell us a little bit about the patrols that happen here on a monthly basis.
Well, Steve, on a monthly basis, the city comes down here basically to try and address the issue of marine debris. As you can see, there's plenty of the stuff here. It's associated primarily with homeless encampments. In the past, we would do this on an annual basis, but pretty quickly the encampments would re-establish. We found that if we do this on a monthly basis, the ability for the camps to re-establish is significantly diminished, and as a consequence, the amount of marine debris, i.e. litter, that we see is significantly reduced.
And the ultimate end result, Paul, is less marine debris in the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary.
Reporter Deirdre Whalen is in the field with this week's Hospitality Spotlight. Let's go out to Deirdre now and see what's going on.
Thanks, Paul. Today we're in Cannery Row, California, one of the premier vacation destinations. And I'm talking with Cannery Row Company's Ted Ballesteri Jr. to learn a little bit about what they're doing to tackle the problem of marine debris. Ted, can you tell me why Cannery Row Company got involved in this issue?
Well, Deirdre, it's important to the Cannery Row Company to keep our beaches clean and healthy. Nobody wants to visit a dirty beach, and certainly nobody wants to take pictures on a dirty beach. One of the things that we found was a prevalent cause of litter on the beach was cigarette butts. Now, we've got a full-time staff that cleans the streets of Cannery Row, but what we really found is it takes a community effort to keep the beaches and streets clean.
That's fantastic, Ted. I've also heard that Cannery Row Company is very involved in Coastal Cleanup Day. How is it that you came to be so supportive of keeping our oceans clean and supporting the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary?
Yeah, Coastal Cleanup Day occurs every September and is part of a statewide, actually an international effort to keep our beaches and oceans clean. We participated in it in 2011 and we cleaned up Maccabee Beach here on Cannery Row. Statewide, volunteers picked up a total of 600,000 pounds of trash just from California coasts alone. And we were very proud to be part of that effort.
Well, Ted, it sounds like Cannery Row Company is doing an awful lot to prevent trash from entering the ocean once it hits the streets. But I'm also impressed that you're doing more to promote sustainability from within the Cannery Row Company. Can you tell me a little bit about your efforts?
Yeah, we're proud of what we've done. Recycling. energy efficient plants, energy efficient lighting, water usage we've cut down immensely. We donate and not discard, and the list goes on.
Recently, the Inns of Monterey, one of Cannery Row's properties, was awarded the Green Seal. I imagine you're very proud, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about what that award exactly is.
All of the Inns of Monterey properties have been Green Sealed certified, and this is quite an honor because there's only 81 properties in the entire country that have this designation.
Wow, that's impressive. You're being very humble, because I happen to know that the Green Seal Award has one of the most robust environmental standards.
Yeah, it is important, especially when you consider that two of the properties, the Spindrift and the Monterey Bay Inn, are literally right on the National Marine Sanctuary.
Well, thank you, Ted, for everything that you and the Cannery Row Company do to keep our oceans healthy and keep trash out of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Back to you, Paul.
Our next segment is Sanctuary Heroes, which is a shout out to our ocean champions.
Thank you, Paul. I'm very excited to be here today at Pacific Grove Middle School for our Sanctuary Heroes segment. With me today is Kelly Terry, a science teacher at Pacific Grove Middle School, and we'll be interviewing her and some of her students. Hi, Kelly. Thank you so much for being here today. Can you tell me why Pacific Grove Middle School wanted to become a NOAA Ocean Guardian school?
Oh, sure. When you go out onto our campus, you can look right down the hill and you can see the ocean right from our campus. It's very beautiful. It's a very special place, and we just really decided we needed to work hard to protect it.
Hi, Paul. I'm here with students from the Pacific Grove Middle School, the real ocean guardians, the ones doing the work. Luke, can you tell me a little bit about what you've done to rally the community?
Yeah, last year we went to the Good Old Days Parade, and we had a booth, and we were also in the parade to raise awareness about keeping our ocean free of marine debris. And what we're really proud of is we wrote a letter to the city council asking to ban balloons in the community, and they accepted the letter, and now balloons are banned.
That's excellent. Cameron, what are you doing on school grounds?
Well, it's not just me. It's really the entire Ocean Guardians Club and our student body. What we do is not only does the Ocean Guardians put ads within school bulletin to inform our school, but we also tally and pick up all the trash in the afternoon on Thursdays, so we can just inform our school. And we actually are trying to get balloons banned from USD right now, the campus on USD, so that they don't pollute the ocean with them like they have before. But
isn't that excellent? Right from the mouths of our students. Thanks very much, Paul, and back to you.
We started our Sanctuary on the Street segment to find out what you think about sanctuary subjects. Let's go to Steve Elsey right now and see what he's discovered.
Thank you very much, Paul. We are right here on the edge of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, finding out what people on the street really think. Brian, what does the term marine debris mean to you?
Essentially anything floating in or under the water that's shrapnel from something else, usually something that you don't want hanging around.
Marine debris means to me the basically waste and everything that's going into the ocean these days.
I think it probably smells like fishy garbage.
Garbage. Debris is garbage, right?
Okay. Do we have a problem with marine debris around here?
I'd say so, yeah. I found a bottle in the ocean down there yesterday with barnacles and stuff all over it.
What happens when you throw a bottle on the beach? Toss a bottle on the beach.
I guess it depends on where you toss the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you toss it on a beach in Japan, it might get here eventually.
And what can people do about marine debris?
Don't throw trash in the ocean.
Okay, Bastian.
Yeah.
What does marine debris mean to you?
Marine debris means for me, that's Monterey, the beautiful Monterey here.
Okay.
In Germany, we don't have anything, something like that in the west, in Cologne. So we have to go to the north or the east sea in Germany, and it's not so beautiful like here. I mean.
Would you wear marine debris to a party?
No.
What's the difference between marine debris and a soggy tennis shoe?
Nothing.
And do you believe in the nuclear solution to marine debris, i.e. we should just blow it up?
Blow up the marine debris? No, that doesn't sound like a good idea. That sounds scary. I don't know, it sounds scary.
All right, Paul, that's it for Sanctuary on the Street from Fisherman's Wharf on beautiful Monterey Bay.
Did you know? The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is located due north of the Hawaiian island chain and formed gradually as a result of marine pollution gathered by ocean currents. The garbage patch is now roughly the size of Texas and estimated to contain over 3.5 tons of trash.
On March 11, 2011, a powerful tsunami hit Japan, destroying cities and villages. As the water receded back into the ocean, it pulled what remained of buildings, cars, boats, and homes along with it. Scrap metals, plastics, and objects of all shapes and sizes either sank near the shore or floated away. In the days that followed, large masses of floating debris could easily be seen by satellite imagery and aerial photos. In the wake of this disaster, NOAA is assessing the potential impact that the debris may have on U.S. shores. So, where will this debris go, and when will it get there? To help answer those questions, scientists are using computer models to estimate the debris' path, using its starting location in the tsunami zone and historical weather and ocean conditions. The findings are that some debris could pass near or wash ashore in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands as early as this winter. Debris may also approach the west coast of the United States in 2013 and potentially circle back to the main Hawaiian Islands in 2014. But scientists caution that there are limitations to what computer models can tell us. Now that the debris has moved out of satellite view, and with currents and winds in the Pacific constantly changing, there is no guarantee that the debris will stay on the predicted path. Items will sink along the way, or break up and disperse in many directions. Despite these unknowns, NOAA and its partners are collecting data, assessing possible impacts, and making preparations in case debris does wash ashore. The 2011 tsunami in Japan reminds us that the devastation that happens on land can also become a marine debris issue at sea.
Joining us in the studio today is the Sanctuary's Deputy Superintendent Karen Grimmer, and she's going to describe the Lost Fishing Gear project. Karen, thanks for coming in.
Happy to be here, Steve.
The Lost Fishing Gear, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're talking today about marine debris, and fishing gear, lost fishing gear, is one of those types of debris that the Sanctuary's been studying the last 3 years. And basically, this is gear that is unintentionally lost or abandoned by fishermen. It could be nets, traps, pots, and the Sanctuary's program is to find out exactly where that gear is, pull it up and make sure it's not impacting wildlife, which can happen in some instances when fish or marine mammals get entangled. And also it can be a hazard to fishermen or boaters that are out in the sanctuary.
Now the sanctuary is over 6,000 square miles. How do you find this stuff to begin with?
It is a very large area, and we are lucky to have partners like NOAA Fisheries who have a manned submersible that they do fish surveys in, and they locate marine debris also and notate where those locations are, give them to us, and we're able to find them with our research vessel Fulmar and a remotely operated vehicle. So we go down, pull up the gear, and make sure it's not impacting resources.
That sounds like a very fascinating trip to be on, and I understand you actually brought some cameras out on the Fulmar recently. You have video of that. Could you walk us through that, please?
Absolutely.
All right.
So here we have the Sanctuary ROV Edward Scissorhands being deployed from the NOAA vessel Fulmar. And you can see the tether attached as it goes down 300 meters to see and view the gear. It's got a spool line attached. And here we can see the ROV pilot looking through the camera that's on the ROV to see any gear and to see where the ROV is. And he can actually control the ROV very easily from the topside area here with joysticks, just like a video game. This can control the ROV to the right, to the left, up or down, and also move the cameras. So here we can see the line attached to a crab pot as the seafloor comes into view. The ROV has a cutting arm on one side and a grabbing arm on the other. And as the crab pot comes into sight, the ROV arm will actually hook onto it, clip through the line, and we can pull it up with the ROV, or we can pull it up with the boat's hydraulic winch. Either way will work. So here we can see a very old crab pot being recovered. Oftentimes we'll find new crab pots which are more of a concern for wildlife, but this particular one obviously is not ghost fishing, as we call it. And we'll pull it on board and then we'll process it for any specimens that might be on the gear. And that could be crabs, egg cases, lots of different invertebrates will actually encrust on this gear. And we have our great partners, the California Academy of Sciences, to help collect and identify any of those specimens.
Karen, I noticed Sam Farr in the video.
He was aboard that day and we were so excited. He's been a great champion for the Central Coast, bringing funds here and also support for the NOAA Marine Debris Program. And I think he has a couple of comments for us.
Great.
This National Marine Sanctuary, you realize it's one of the largest parks in the ocean. And just like parks on land, you have to go out and clean up junk that's out there. And it was fascinating, one, to pick up some of that junk, an old crab pot, all a bunch of steel and metal that could trap fish.
Did you know 26,000 square miles of land drain into the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary?
Presentation of your sanctuary is made possible in part by the Cannery Row Company, gateway to the Monterey Bay.